Hi, welcome to my video. It's been a long time, well, I don't know if it's a long time, but it's a long-ish time since I made a book video. I think Sophie was that her name? Anyways, that was the last time I talked about a book. And I've read a bunch of books, but I've made an executive decision that I'm not going to talk about um, a lot of these books just because they were just subpar. And, you know, I think it's awesome that somebody wrote a book, even if it's not something I want to read. Just the fact that they're out there living the dream. They wrote a book. Like, I don't want to, like, talk it down too much. So, all of those books that were like 2.5 stars, I'm not talking about them. But I will tell you about a few of the highlights of my reading recently. I don't know if I'll be able to find like well, I don't do screenshots, like real screenshots, because, I'm technically inept, but technologically inept. Probably both. Anyway, one thing I do want to do is like try to find, if it'll let me, pictures of the books that I want to tell you about. Maybe this will do. So, the first one I wanted to talk about is Blood Spell by C.J. Redwine. It looked like that, and I listened to it on audiobook. And it's a Cinderella retelling. In case you are new here or you just haven't noticed, I love a good retelling. Fairy tales, all the fairy tales, give me the fairy tales. I want to hear retellings. That's like probably top 3 of my favorite types of books. All the fairy tale retellings. I'll tell you about another one that I found that I'm not loving, but it's a fairy tale retelling, so I have to finish it. So, The Blood Spell, it's Cinderella retold. It's really good. It's not exactly enemies to lovers. It's people who annoy you to lovers. But it's just really cute. And I loved it. I gave it 4.25 stars. If you use Storygraph instead of Goodreads, you can do quarter stars, which I appreciate. So I do Storygraph. I know most people are on Goodreads, but try Storygraph if you like extra, quarters of stars. So there you go. So 4.25 for Blood Spell by C.J. Redwine. The next one I wanted to tell you about is When in Rome. Where is that one? A lot of you have probably already heard about it. It's by Sarah Adams. I gave it 3.5 stars. I took 1 star away because the dude says the F word a lot. Like a lot. And, he's not even British, honestly. So, When in Rome by Sarah Adams looks like that. It's, Grumpy Sunshine. It's just really sweet, and I liked it a lot. And, I don't like books where like celebrities come to town and fall in love with, the lowly normal person, but that's what this is. And I think that they did a good job of it. If you can get past all the cussing, which I don't want to get past, because when I get past it, then that means that I'm one of those people. Like, I've just resigned myself to people having a poor vocabulary and just an aggressive, rude nature, and I just don't want that. So, if you use the F word, you're getting docked in my booktube. It's my booktube, but I can, just make things up as much as I want. So, that's my rule. If you say cuss words, you're getting docked. So, there. The other one, I don't have the physical copy, and I don't have it on my tablet thingy because I did read it physically, but it's one of those, it might be on my bookshelf. Either that or I was going to give it to the little free library. Because I really don't see myself ever reading it again unless we have like another pandemic or something and I can't get out of the house. But it's called If For Any Reason by Courtney Walsh. I give it 4 stars. It was my first Courtney Walsh book, but having read it, like I'd like to read more of her stuff. And what it is it's not a second chance romance, even though it reads a little bit like one. These 2 kids grew up together, and her mom passed away, so her grandparents took her and moved to like North Carolina or South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. But they grew up summering together on Nantucket. And she comes from a wealthy family, think, like the Gilmores, that kind of thing. And he was like poor, and I think his dad was, I want to say a landscaper, but something like that. And like he worked his way up in the ranks, so they became a respectable family. But it tells 2 generations of stories. It really does have a lot of kind of Gilmore Girls vibes. But he grew up and became a pro ball player, baseball, and then they come back to Nantucket and they reconnect. So it's not second chance romance, but he was her first kiss, but it was like a dare kind of thing, like truth or dare between 2 friends kind of thing. So it wasn't like they were boyfriend girlfriend or whatever. They were friends who kissed. But anyways, it was really sweet. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars. Sorry, this is sitting on a coffee or on a card table, so anytime I touch the table, it shakes. See, like that. Isn't that annoying? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm so annoying. Actually, I can, because that's one of my fatal flaws. So there you go. Anyway, I have no like remorse. Anyway, so those are the 3 I wanted to tell you about that I've read in the past month or so. Now on to what I am currently reading. So it took me 5 weeks to find this stinking book. A copy of this book was impossible. And I could have gone to the next city over, the big city of Linwood, and I could have gone to a real bookstore, but I was not spending $17 on a book that I really wasn't excited to read in the first place. So it took me 5 weeks. I went to every used bookstore in this area. Let's see, I went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 used bookstores, 5 indie bookstores, and 6 if you count half-price books. Anyway, I did finally get it through half-price books, but first of all, I requested it, and they were going to send it from Redmond, and they sent me, or they called me, but I didn't pick it up. So then when I called back to find out what they wanted, they didn't know. So then I went to the store, and they looked around and didn't even check the computer, but they had canceled the book transfer from Redmond. So I waited for 2 weeks, waiting for them, but I was still looking at the indie bookstores and stuff, but trying to find this stupid book. And then I went in there and they finally figured it out. Oh no, that was canceled. So then they had to find one at Bellevue, which is, I think, equal distance, but still, another faraway store that I wasn't going to drive all the way to, because traffic in Western Washington makes you want to lash out irrationally. I'm serious, I can't even imagine why we don't have more, insane occurrences. I'm glad we don't, but really, if there was more, traffic-related violence and stuff, I would not be surprised, because going anywhere, especially after 1 in the afternoon, is nearly impossible. So anyway, this is why I also didn't want to go to Linwood to Barnes & Noble. But like I said, I'm not spending $17. So I haven't even told you what the book is. But the point is, finally they got me this copy. It was only $3.50 or something. Yeah, it was $3.50 plus tax, so $3.84. But finally I found it. Da, 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 da. Now, listen to me ruin Russian, but it's Fyodor Dostoevsky, and it's the brothers Karamazov. So, for anyone who speaks Russian or can do a good Russian accent, my apologies. But I started reading it. So far, I like one of the brothers. Which one? The one that wants to be a monk. What's his name? Not Fyodor. Alyosha. I like him so far. He probably ends up to be a serial killer or something, but so far, I enjoy him. I don't envy him, that father of his, who is vile and really should have been neutered, But that's just my opinion. Anyway, it's okay. I'm not in the mood for it, so I'm kind of like trudging through. But as you can see, I'm not really trudging through because I'm only 49 pages in, and I'm supposed to have this whole book done by the end of the month, and plus The Stranger, but I never bothered with that one, so we'll see. Yeah, so I mean, I totally can read this many pages by the end of the month. It's just a matter of willpower. Like, I have to make myself, and I don't feel like making myself. So I've mentioned this book a few times, but I'm still just loving it, and I'm so happy I found it. And every time I go to the Goodwill where I found it, I keep looking for the Charles Dickens version, but I haven't found that yet. But it has cat hair all over it. That's what I'm doing here, trying to get my poor Diego's fur coat off of it. But it's the Jane Austen devotional, and I'm loving it. I love reading it. I only read a couple, like, here and there, but it's just making me want to read Jane Austen books, but I just have so much to read, and I just haven't gotten around to it. I have the books, I need to find time or make time or something of that nature and, just do it. So, the one I told you about, the retelling, A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney, is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland. I like it, but I'm pretty sure, let's see, it was written in like 2001 or thereabouts. 2018. So it's racially charged. I'm not sure how to say this, I don't know, correctly, respectfully, whatever. So I'm not trying to be rude or whatever. So if I say something that offends me, you can gently correct, or offends you, you can gently correct me in the comments. But if you say something snotty, I'm going to delete you. Yeah. So there you go. But, if I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me. But it feels like this person, I believe it's a black author, but it feels like this person was writing it in the middle of, I don't know, maybe George Floyd. I don't remember what year that was. But anyways, that kind of situation. And that takes the forefront. Breonna Taylor, I believe that's her name, who was shot by a police officer in her own home. That, it seems very much like that. That influenced the author, and that was in the forefront of her mind, and it kind of overpowers the story of Alice in Wonderland, even though it's written as a retelling of Alice in Wonderland. So, our protagonist, whose name just escapes me, oh, of course, her name is Alice, duh. Okay, so Alice it seems like a normal girl, but she lives kind of, I believe they call it the Vale. She lives in like the in between part between our world and Wonderland. And um, she it has kind of chosen one vibes because she can see this boy who is trying to veil himself. And even though he's in his world, he's, thousands of years old or hundreds of years old, by human standards, he's 19. And she's 17, almost 18. And she sees him, and he thinks that it's odd that she can see him because that's not a normal thing. And he kills a nightmare monster in front of her. Um, but the thing is, because of the type of creature he is, because he's humanoid, he looks human, but he's like, I don't know, he's a different kind of creature. Because he's that, he can't kill them forever. Like, it's, like they can regenerate because he killed them. But if a human kills him, kills the monster, the nightmare, then it's dead forever because the nightmares are based on and fed by the nightmares of humans. So a human has to overcome that fear. And so he trains her, takes her as an apprentice because he knows how to fight them. He just can't kill them forever. So he takes her as an apprentice and he teaches her how to be um, a dream walker. I believe that's what they call her. She's a dream walker. But then she has to go into Wonderland and fight the nightmares before they come to our side through the veil. Because once they get closer to humans, they have more to feed on and they get stronger. So, so she, like, takes off in the middle of the day and stuff, and she just sneaks away. But her mom, because of a shooting of a black lady, I think she was at a high school or a college football game, and a police officer shot her. And because of that, her mom's really like worried, like she's going to get hurt just, out there in the streets, just doing normal things. And she doesn't want her to do it. And Alice feels guilty for making her mom worry, but she is the only one who can do this, and the world will get steadily worse if she doesn't. So she's kind of, battling with that. I do like the Alice in Wonderland things because there's little like nods to the original thing. Like there's a character. I think it was a cat. Anyways, there's a character named Lewis and a character named Carol, which if you know, you know. And the boy that she's friends with, one boy that she's friends with is named Chess, and her mentor boy, who she has a crush on, is Addison Hatta, like the Mad Hatter, and he has green hair. Anyway, there's just like little nods to the original story. So I like it, but like I said, it gets lost in kind of the political message or the social conscious like message. So I'm 77 pages in. There is cussing in it, which I don't know why YA has to be so full of cussing. This is why I'm telling you I want to see like ratings on books like there are movies. I don't believe in, like banning books from, like public ability to get them. But I do think people should be aware of like kind of what they're getting into. Like if you want to watch an NC-17 movie, you may, but if you don't want to watch that, it's nice that you can say, oh, that's NC-17, I don't want to see that, like just a heads up. I guess that's why there's trigger warnings, but I don't know. Trigger warnings are kind of annoying. Like, if you could just flip over the book and down here somewhere it just said, PG-13, then, that would be so much simpler. But that's just my opinion. It's controversial, I know. Anytime you, like, do things like that. People get nervous about censorship, and I get that. But that's what I'd like to see, because it is media, just like, a movie or music. And, like a CD says explicit lyrics on it before you buy it. So you can know what you're getting. Gosh, my hair looks like a mess. Sorry. It's pool season. I've been in the swimming pool a lot, and my hair is rebelling in 50 different ways, because I put sunscreen on the top so it looks homeless up here, and then the chlorine gets the ends, and it's just a mess. So anyways, forgive me for that, but whatever. Yeah, so The Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney, I'm liking it. I wish there was more whimsy. It's a little dark, but I understand what they were doing, and kind of like what exterior forces were working while they were writing this book. So I get where the author was coming from, but for me, the great thing about Alice in Wonderland is just like the silliness and the whimsy, and it's not very whimsical. Although I do like I forget her name, but she's the bartender, but she's also an alchemist or potion woman, a wizard. I don't know. Anyways, she's like basically the dormouse from Alice in Wonderland. The one that keeps talking nonsense and then falling asleep, like in the teapot and stuff. She's that, and it's really cute, and I really love that. So that's A Blade So Black. Like I said, there is cussing, so be advised. There's also racial tension type stuff. They talk about like police brutality and things of that nature. So be advised. Yeah. So I think that's everything. Oh, on my my Libby account, I do have 2 books saved, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to read, and I'm not sure which. One of them is The Traitor Prince by C.J. What was his name? C.J. Redwine. And that one looks fun. But I'm reading The Blade So Black right now, so that seems like I'd be kind of doubling up on the fantasy-ish type of thing. And then the other one is My Jesus? Yes, by Ann Wilson. And it's a short one. It's only 5 hours on audiobook. And that looks like that. Ooh, right there. Anyway, so I'm thinking I might read that one. Just as, kind of a wind down from my day. That seems, So right now I've got my hardcore lit, that I need to actually get into, and if I could get 50 pages done today, I'd feel much better. So if I could hit the 100-page mark, that's my hope for today. It's 3 p.m., so wish me luck. And this one's more like my poolside book. The lady at the Never Ending Bookshop gave this to me, and I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. Shout out to her. And if you're in Edmonds, Washington, go to the Never Ending Bookstore, bookshop. Whichever one it is, you'll find it. It has a dragon for their mascot. So, yeah, you should go there. Anyways, that one's The Blade So Black. So that's what I've got. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you're enjoying your pre-summer. I hope you have wonderful poolside weather to enjoy. And yeah, I think that's it. So have a great afternoon, evening, good night, and see you later.